Students, take your seats, grab your magic wands, your potion making equipment, your scrolls, your familiars, your nibs and inks, I don't know, whatever you kids are up to these days. Welcome to Ioth Academy. I'm tormented by gnomes. It is my joy to be your game master. And joining me at my table are Crowan, Leg Day, Lemon Kiwi, and Anacra. Welcome back, everybody.
Hey. Hello.
Hey. I'm looking forward to this. Let's go.
Same.
So, when last we left our heroes, we were approaching the end. It was in that like couple of weeks period after final projects have been turned in. You don't really have a summer break around here. They kind of keep you going a lot of the years, but the course load is not as tough as it's not as there's a little bit more work-life balance without the summer break. But you're in that odd period at the end where you've got some time to yourselves. You've gotten into a little bit of trouble. And when we specifically last left everyone, night had fallen over the golden sphere of Ioth Academy. The faint radiance of the barrier that seals all of the students of magic from the outside world and its troubles glows, so that it never really approaches full pitch dark around here. And we find each of our 4 students in different degrees of sleep. Now, this is the day, this is the night after the 4 of you learned Alexander's secret, and the night after Garnet tried an experiment with her summoned shadow imp to learn the spell or whatever power Alexander had channeled to save your bacon when a school nurse was on to you for various shenanigans. How's Alexander sleeping this night?
Oh, the night after? Not well. Not well at all. Is way too anxious about, oh man, finally people know this is, it's probably, was a long time coming, but can't really prepare for something like this. So he's probably pretty paranoid. Probably doesn't get much sleep.
Okay. And your mysterious, your dark passenger, your mysterious voice is oddly silent. Athalor, how does the night find our young hero?
He's sleeping pretty well. Like he's very at home with the concept of someone being in someone's head, and he's also pretty happy that his is thus far quite benign in terms of its presence.
Could be worse.
The grass is greener, right?
Okay, excellent.
I've got the better stand right now.
This is the work of an enemy stand. Arianna, how does the night find her as we get into the wee hours near midnight?
I feel like she wouldn't really be too bothered by anything. Like, feel like stranger things have happened, and all she really cares about is how Alexander is kind of finding things. So she might be thinking about that a little bit, but otherwise, she's pretty content. She's sleeping good.
All right. As for Garnet, in her mind's eye, the oasis waters, once crystal clear, are stained crimson with spilled blood. Hacked off limbs are strewn across the desert. Great pools of sodden sand, corpses of camels and soldiers, and half-machine monstrosities. The sounds of carnage and violence, screams of pain, and the battle cries of unspeakable horrors echo softly through a filter as if behind a curtain. The acid tang of blood is on the air, and everything is illuminated through this bizarre flickering firelight. You're used to dreams like this. Every single night is constant nightmares. One last gift from Master Myrick to harden your heart and to train you to resist and to face the power of the shadows. And if I recall, you had been reliving this nightmare and once again cursing the god who marked your birth with a sign, with a miracle that saved your people, whose sign has been upon your flesh for as long as you can remember, whose every teaching and every word you were raised on from a very, very young age. And as you were cursing that sign and asking, why can't you be left alone? Why can't it be erased? A voice spoke beside you and said, that can be arranged. What do you do?
I turn towards the voice, and do I see anything?
Mm-hmm. A flickering shadow wrapped around almost a liquid flowing shape, obscured by robes woven from the light, the shadows cast by the flickering torches. As those torches flicker, so does this figure, streaming in an unseen wind. But its eyes, peering from above a shadow cloth mask, its eyes are two burning, icy points of light. In its hand, it clutches a scepter made from black ice, veined with red, and topped with 3 prongs. The air, the desert air, becomes instantaneously frigid and cold.
So she probably is this like probably the same feeling that when Alex had the spell, like that kind of cold feeling?
Yes.
Is it? Okay. So she probably recognizes that and kind of looks him up and down first. Like it's a very like you just interrupted something kind of vibe. And she's kind of looking him up and down and goes, "Oh, I wasn't expecting a guest today. Well, welcome." And she'd like to maybe think up like 2 chairs, like shadowy looking chairs.
Mm-hmm.
And she just comfortably and confidently sits on one of them, crosses a leg over the other, and says, "Wasn't expecting a guest. What are you doing here?"
The figure sort of rolls along the ground almost, just glides, not hovering, but like on a liquid surface, slides over, and doesn't so much sit as it melts down and disfigures itself to flow around the chair. We've met before, on different circumstances. You came knocking at my door today. I thought I'd return the favor.
Well, now you're in my world, so I think we should do introductions, don't we think? You know me, Garnet, but I don't know you. So what is your name?
I am a messenger.
Real names only, please.
I am Despair's herald.
First name. Okay, first name, last name. Oh, that's fancy. So what are you doing here?
I bear a message. One that you have already heard. One whose truth you've already seen. I believe it would be in your interest to spread it.
What's the message?
That the gods can no more care for mortals than you can care for an ant.
All right. So what's the point of this message?
I abhor delusion. I'm a proponent of truth. There are countless thousands who live under delusion, and I would see it shattered and replaced with truth.
Well, you see where you are right now. I kind of like gesture to the scenery of blood and the environment. And well, this is my truth. And I have a message for you to deliver, messenger. Tell the machine prince I want to meet with him.
Is that all?
I'll give you some time to get it set up. How about a year from today?
It is done.
Just like that?
Yes.
So much for not caring about mortals' wishes. This was easier than I thought.
I am not a god.
Aw, should have more confidence than that. I probably crossed the other leg over. So, anything else?
That I'll leave in your hands.
So, what is your relationship with the Machine Prince?
I am aware of their operations. They are aware of my existence. We have very little to do with each other. Professional courtesy.
So, professionally speaking, what is your goal with Alex, in general? What do you desire?
The spread of truth, the dissolution of lies.
Who's lying? What lie?
The gods?
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah,
Yes.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yes. But there are countless others. Little lies that mortals tell themselves every single day. Little lies that they tell to each other. And every time I stomp one out, I make the world a better place.
Probably like leans over and kind of leans on her lap and like stares at him right in his little beady eyes and goes, "How do I know you're telling the truth right now?"
You don't. But I don't think I've said anything you don't agree with.
Or like, how do I know you will arrange this meeting with the Machine Prince?
What certainty would you seek?
100%.
I swear by the hungry dark. 1 year hence, the Machine Prince will seek you out. And
Okay.
not to destroy you.
He can try. I kind of sit back up. There's another thing that my team wants, and that might interest you as well. You like power, don't you?
A means to an end.
There is something in Ioth's office that we want. Will you help us?
Yes. Ioth weaves the greatest delusion of them all. A heinous offense to truth. A desperate lie. Yes, I will help you. Because the lie that Ioth is weaving could strip that mark from your flesh. Could break the bonds of your birth.
Well, and you haven't asked anything in return yet. So what's the catch?
The truth is its own reward.
You sure like getting puppeted by mortals. Kind of grinning.
You think you might see the faintest smile beneath that mask. I am only a messenger. I have no grand designs. As long as the message is propagated throughout the 4 kingdoms, I am at peace.
So what do you want with Alex?
I am bound by a pact to ensure that he succeeds at this school.
When he graduates, then what? You're gone?
Then we'll see. He too shall be a voice of the truth in his own way.
Okay.
I want him to break Ioth's delusion.
Me too.
Yes.
Well, you're easier to bargain with than I thought. 1 year from today, I want to speak to the Machine Prince.
It is done.
All right. Get out of my dream then.
I'm gonna need you to fuck off.
I'm trying to sleep here.
The messenger
Oh my god.
dissolves into a cloud of black mist, this oily residue in the air that spirals up, and the noise and the howls of slaughter grow louder as if the curtain separating you from them is gone. And you are plunged once more into your nightly nightmares.
You.
Fog.
All right. I don't know how you
Duality
imagined
of
that
man.
going down.
I was expecting a lot more persuasion rolls, but that was quite easy.
Who needs charisma modifiers? When apparently Despair's Herald is quite S&B.
Meanwhile, Alexander's over here like, what the hell, man?
I had to bargain my immortal soul for that.
Did you get that shit for free?
Oh my god.
Oof.
I get shade every time I ask for anything. God damn it.
You barely do mage hand.
All right. The next morning, you awaken and matters naturally progress towards the end of the school year. You are all going to be fitted for your green robes. And course syllabi are being thrown around, but before the selection of classes, it's back to the amphitheater, just like every single year. One section higher, further and further away from the stage and from Ioth every single year that you're here. If he's even real.
So how many feet are we from the stage?
What did I say last time? You were like 100 feet?
Something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you're probably, let's see, it's a big amphitheater. You're going to be at least 4 seat rows behind, like 120.
Do you have a vague idea of the overall student body size at the school? Like on a per year basis?
I think it's around so here's the thing. For your class, it's probably somewhere around 1,200. Not 1,200 green robes, but like 1,200 undergrad students.
Okay.
It's fairly
Wow.
small, all things
That's
considered.
That's a bunch of wizards there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, that's not very many people for a school, but for a magic school, that's a lot of magic crammed into one spot.
Remember, guys, magic is stored in the balls. The orb of Ioth Academy.
Stored in the balls? I'm so dead.
It's going to be Athalor's next thesis project. In this
Magic's
essay,
stored in the
I will argue. All right. So once again, everyone gets shuffled in. You get sorted into your different rows. Alozrin somehow, even though there's like 4 rows of the next rank up, which would be yellow robes, I believe. Yeah. No. Red, orange, yellow. I can't math. Blue robes. Blue robes next. Yeah, blue robes.
Ooh.
Colors are hard. It's been a long time since kindergarten. Alozrin is in the blue robes, but every single year he finds some way to sit right behind you guys and just talk the entire time about how lame the next school year is and how his school year is going to be way more interesting than the last time. This is the only time that you really see Sventisco, aside from a couple of times that you end up sneaking out. She's not sitting anywhere near you. She's sitting in her own section, notedly away from Alexander.
Have the cult evolved their uniform at all?
They've still got the
This-
copper bracelets, and one or two of them seem to be wearing blue sashes, but they're underneath their robes. Alexander, roll a perception check for me.
Sure.
Huh.
What do you perceive, my boy?
It's still on, but 17.
You take the first. All right. So, yeah, you can see that some of the people that she's traveling with are wearing blue sashes underneath their robes. Like, they don't have them fully done up, and so it kind of shows. You've seen people with blue sashes before. It's been 4 or 5 years since. Do you recall the context? If not, you can roll an intelligence check to recall the context.
Blue sashes. Was it the people who came to the refugee camp that one time?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember who they were. Do I get advantage? Because I kind of remember. Want to check?
I mean, you do only kind of remember that they were people who lived in the refugee camp. They were all kind of operating together. They were traveling in patrols. The night that Naomi vanished, they were like patrolling the area. They got into some fights with people, but I don't know if you ever really knew like who they were. You know, you were 9 or 10 at the time.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'll let you roll a flat intelligence check to see if you recall anything else.
No,
2.
2.
You do not. Yes. So that seems to be the evolution. You also notice, Athalor, that they're all sitting together, but they aren't wearing both the copper bracelets and the blue sashes. It's either or.
Oh, we have membership levels to the cult.
Mm-hmm.
They have processed the 4th book of Xenu. Can Athalor attempt to create a telepathic bond with Sventiska in more of an eavesdroppy kind of way?
What's the description of the telepathic bond?
Bam! Let me hit it in the character sheet. Boom. Wait. There we go.
Okay, you can speak with each other. So the telepathic bond by itself.
Oh, it's not a reader. No, it's not a reader.
It's just like IMing somebody. You know, they can leave you on red if they want.
Oh, man. Left on red by Sventiska. She doesn't trust men anymore. Thanks, Alex.
Do you have a level 2 spell that would help in this circumstance?
I do have... Wait a second. Hold up. Wait a minute. Bam. No.
Was that a no?
I might not have added it. At 3rd level, I do get detect thoughts.
Yeah. You detect thoughts would be extremely helpful in this circumstance because that's the exact spell you're looking for.
Well, that is pretty great. Thank you, my undetermined class.
Do you want to
That's
pop
pretty
that?
Nifty. Boom. Yes. Can I pop detect thoughts? Do I have to hit it? Let me bring down my spell slots to 1. Bam. 1 sec. I've got my bloody sheet popped out, so I can't.
All right, I'll pull it up. Essentially, what it does is it lets you read surface thoughts, but they have to be within 30 feet of you. So you might have to like get up to grab a snack or use the little elf's room or something and kind of incorporate that into it because she's sitting more than 30 feet away from you. What ruse would you like to devise in order to go spy on her brain?
Is she not within 30 feet?
No, she's decidedly sitting as far away from you folks. Not like the other side of the arena, but pretty far away. It's 60 feet away.
Don't blame her.
I'm somewhat annoyed by this person who I have no idea what relationship they have to our group. And so I will kind of just shuffle over a couple of seats as much as possible and then maybe start making my way over there. But definitely Athalor has no idea who this other talker is who comes up behind him every time. I was like, are they your friend?
It's Alfar who just always acts like he knows you guys.
It's like, does he think that he knows me because I'm an Alfar too? It's just like same race, homies.
Oh,
So when you activate Detect Thoughts, first off, give me a deception or performance roll to, just going over here, minding my own business.
Lovely. This is the jam. I've once again lost my character sheet. So many tabs, boys and girls. So many tabs. You say deception or performance, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Bam. Where are we at? Let's do a performance roll. Ta-da! Shit.
Okay. Subtle, you are not. And so the first thought that you glean from Sventisco's head is, what is Athalor doing over there?
She knows my name.
You were classmates for like half a semester.
For
3 years
half a
ago.
semester. Yeah, it's like she still knows my name. Interesting.
What is he? Oh, God, I hope he's not looking to come over and talk to me. Okay, act like you don't see him. Act like you don't see him.
This is perfect.
All right. We're gonna leave that on because that lasts for a little while, and you're getting a lot of noise to signal because of the bumbling performance that you just delivered. I want to check in with Garnet and Arianna. Is there anything that you want to do aside from sit back and wait for the pomp and circumstance, for all the new first years to get marched in, for the professors to take the stage and give their speeches, and for Ioth to make his annual appearance?
Is Alyxander trying to like actively antagonize us?
Roll an insight check, Arianna.
I'm on the wrong part of the sheet. Insight.
Okay. Alyxander is not trying to antagonize you. Alyxander just doesn't have a filter between his brain and his mouth.
I can understand that.
If he has a thought, he says it. And yeah, he actually bears no ill will whatsoever. He just thinks that his experience, it's very important for him to share his experience with the less experienced next year students. And also that he's very important and very smart.
Is he like trying to talk to us specifically?
Yeah, every year he's actually talking at you, Arianna, because he met you like 4 years ago in your refuge. He was the kid from the academy who came through town. So he acts like it's fine for him to be super familiar, not like in your space, but just, some people strike up a conversation without saying hello. They just go right into it.
Coming from a small town, I know this.
Yeah.
Once a year, Alyxander takes the opportunity of sitting behind your heads to do that, regardless of whether anyone turns around to say hello to him.
I guess Arianna would kind of pick up on that, and she might like turn around and strike a very casual conversation with Alyxander and be like, maybe poke his brain a little bit. Like, oh, Alyxander, didn't see you there. How was your last year of school?
It was very boring. I'm sure that next year is going to be more exciting. I took etiology, the study of origins and dawn magic, but my friends took draconic studies, and frankly, I think that I should have taken their classes instead. My class was extremely boring. But now that we're moving from the Great Hall to the Ring, I expect we'll be doing advanced magic very soon. Not that I'm not already doing advanced magic, but, it's better for us all to be on the same page and all to be practicing advanced magic.
What's the Ring?
The Ring. Well, the fourth year is the last year that you live in these 4 different lodges: the Grove, the Grotto, the Cove, and the Great Hall. After that, at the end, you're going to need to study for your 4th year exams, because that's going to determine your placement when you move up to the Ring. Not your housing, of course, that won't be affected, but it is going to attend what college, what Tower of Wizardry that you're going to be studying in, and what apprenticeships that you're going to have. It's very important. You should study very hard. It wasn't that difficult, but it is extremely important.
Good to know. Thanks for the heads up. Lots to look forward to this year, huh?
No, not particularly. It's a very boring year. I didn't enjoy it at all.
Well, last year was pretty boring too.
Mm-hmm.
But you always say that every year, don't you?
No, I don't.
An ironclad argument.
Have you been paying attention?
I have. I distinctly remember you always saying that every year before has been boring.
There is something of a pattern, isn't there? Well, I'm sure that pattern is going to change this year. This year isn't going to be boring.
I hope for your sake it's not.
I'm sure it won't be.
Well, I guess we should turn around and pay attention and hear what Ioth has to say, huh?
Yes, I'm sure it's going to be very boring, just like it was last year.
Probably, yeah. Good to see you, Alosrin.
He just starts talking about something else. Just keeps going. Just keeps going.
Have you guys seen what's in the cove? It's actually made out of seashells everywhere. They have whale noises. It's really weird.
Arianna just like, deadpans, like turns around.
Just like straight staring forward. Don't think about it. Don't look at it. Don't blink.
Yep.
And it's not even like he's making eye contact with you. He's not like staring into the back of your head talking. He's just watching and providing run. He's casting. He's casting, but he's not casting well. He's just like, this makes me think about the one time that I was over in the over in the grotto, and that area with all the mineral deposits that they use to focus the magical energies. It's not something that you would have studied. You went to the Great Hall. That's completely different.
You're watching Ioth's speech, and welcome to Alosrin Reacts. Remember to like and subscribe before we get started with the video.
It's the co-stream. Arianna, roll
Live from LA.
Roll a wisdom saving throw, please.
What?
Roll a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, Lord, how much is he making me go mad?
Oh no.
Psychic damage from pure annoyance.
All right. You are completely able to tune him out.
Yay.
You've been able to do this the last 3 years in a row. It doesn't seem to have hurt his feelings at all. You're fine.
Good.
It goes from like an actual running commentary to just this vague like white noise in the background. Watermelon, 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 watermelon.
Food.
What's before we go back to Athalor trying to read Sventisco's mind, what is Garnet just settled in, minding her own business?
I wanted to tell, is it Una we named the imp, right? Something like that. I
Mhm.
want to kind of whisper subtly to the imp to go and while invisible, go to the stage. And are there like teachers usually sitting at the front, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want him to observe the teachers and see if anyone's channeling a spell.
Okay. All right.
And listening if there's anything important.
Slithers along the ground as a two-dimensional shadow flowing over surfaces.
Why is this so funny?
And begins creeping its way up there. Athalor,
Yes.
after Sventisco stops paying attention, do you speak Draconic?
No.
Okay.
And I have no amendments to that in terms of spells either.
Okay, I don't think
However-
that really matters.
It depends on how much Alex wants to continue fucking with Sventisco. I feel like they might speak Draconic.
So
Let's set up a Skype call.
boop, 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 boop.
Oh man, that triggers some deeply repressed thoughts within me.
All right. She's speaking in Draconic with her friends. And you can't it's like watching a documentary where the person they're interviewing is speaking a language you don't understand, but then there's a translator talking over that dialogue, because you're understanding, you have direct access to her thoughts. So the direct understanding of the words that people are saying is going right to her.
Mm-hmm.
How much of a wreck do you think he's going to be this year?
Garnet would enjoy this conversation.
Wait, let me tune in. Wait.
Patcher in.
What's a Twitch link?
Hey, squad stream?
What's the password to the ninja?
Yeah, she's talking with her friends, and they are particularly vindictive. Not just snarky, but sort of like accusatory and derogatory when they're talking about Ioth's next appearance. It's unfriendly, if not outright hostile, and it is directed at Ioth.
Ooh, crikey!
Now-
Is it kind of like repeating this theme to the degree where Athalor feels like this seems to be the prevailing theme. I'd better stop moving away.
Yes, the prevailing theme amongst Sventisco and her friends is contempt for Ioth. And I had another word in my head. Suspicion of the teachers and contempt for Ioth.
You're in cahoots.
Now, with detect thoughts,
she's going no.
You can attempt to stop gleaning surface thoughts and actually delve deeper into the mind. If you have the spell on your spell sheet and you click it, the description will be there. If you do that, Sventisco will get a saving throw.
Does she know either way?
She does at this point. I would say that if she greatly succeeds on her saving throw, she will be aware. If she barely succeeds, she won't be aware. Grades of success. And she may not immediately, like if she gets a natural 20, then she'll just,
Like an owl.
Exactly.
Like the red light, green light.
Yeah, some Squid Game stuff going on. Give you the body snatchers. As if she gets a natural 20. Otherwise, it's degrees of success.
Okay. What would be? Oh, wisdom. Well, just given that it's mental versus mental, Athalor, thinking of himself as quite a smart dude, is probably going to try and go a touch further.
Okay, you want to probe deeper into Sventisco's mind. Sventisco rolls. Hold on a moment.
There's a disadvantage.
Yon dungeon master hath disadvantage. Forsooth.
I've got the willow buff.
And I rolled 2 5s.
Dubs.
That's incredible. Okay, as you delve deeper into Sventisco's thoughts, the stream of consciousness, the words flowing across her, almost as if you're thinking them in a second voice, give way to more detailed information, little bits and pieces of memory, the sensation of neurotransmitters from beyond your own self pass through you. So you gain insight into its reasoning, her emotional state, and something that looms large in her mind.
A phobic trigger?
So, her reasoning. She and her friends hold Ioth in contempt for inaction. Her emotional state is focused, charged, aggressive. And that's bouncing off of the people that she has with her. Not violent, but sort of that, when you're all talking about how much this one person sucks, and you get that back and forth that sort of fires you all up. That's what's going on.
It's like cyclical intensity.
Mm-hmm. And what is on her mind right now is her homeland.
Oh.
And the people who have died there, and the people who are still dying, while Ioth does nothing.
With knowledge of the world, this was a fairly commonplace thing for a lot of upper leaders in the Free States to think, right? Just like wondering why Ioth is isolated over here.
Yeah, why are all these wizards turtling?
Interesting. I think Athalor's done pushing his luck.
Just before she becomes aware of an intrusion, you withdraw the spell. And do you shuffle back to your seat, stumbling over? Excuse me, pardon me, excuse me, pardon me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although Athalor isn't quite that much taller than everyone else now, I suppose. He was pretty lanky, but people are starting to hit that old puberty. So he's kind of amongst the taller, but not some elven tree anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Sorry. Excuse me, everybody. I'm just moving through here. Don't mind me. Sorry, puberty coming through. Puberty coming through. Lots of testosterone over here.
How do you do, fellow kids? All right. Garnet, Una reports that Untermaler is channeling a spell.
I knew it.
Roll an Arcana check, please.
Where is my? I lost
Girl,
my.
what you doing?
I have lost my character sheet. I'm gonna refresh. Uno
am,
momento.
am I not the only one who has like 17 million windows up while we play D&D?
Me too.
Oh yeah.
The chaos that I have is that I have Roll20 open in a normal window, and then I have Roll20 open in an incognito window because that's set up as a player, so that chat doesn't see all the secret DM stuff. So I've got anyways, a 15. Untermaler is channeling a divination spell, not an illusion spell.
Wait. Wait. What is
Intelligence
divination
check.
usually?
Divination
wait.
is sight magic, seeing the future, detecting things.
Fuck.
Apropos of nothing, roll 1d20 for a stealth check for Una.
Even while invisible? Oh shit.
Roll 2d20. We'll take the better of the two.
I divine there is something here.
Okay, a 16 and a 12. Una is a very sneaky little shadow imp. But Untermaler's, deep set bovine eyes narrow in that direction. He's probably casting detect magic or see invisibility. He's in charge of security after all, so he's just
Get out of there, Una. Save yourself.
Get out! Get to the chopper!
It's like an explosion. It jumps from the elevated platform of my arms. It like lands in a puddle on the floor.
What do you want Una to do?
How long is the speech gonna be? Like a couple minutes or?
The ceremony usually lasts like an hour at least. Ioth's speeches have only, time me, right? A minute, 30 seconds.
So familiars can deliver touch spells, right? Would I be able to deliver a little surprise?
Depends on the spell. What do you have in mind, and who's the target?
That sounds threatening.
Oh wait. I would want to maybe use identify on Untermaler and see what he's casting specifically.
Okay. So is that a touch spell? Because if it is, that means that Una would have to get close to the suspicious war mage Minotaur to deliver the spell.
Would you risk it for the biscuit?
Let's go with a negatory. Let's pull back Agent Una, and let's not do that.
Send in the extraction team.
All right, report for exfil.
Gotta reach the LZ.
All right. It rejoins, sort of merges with your shadow, and Ioth, after the procession, everyone makes their way in. The teachers are wearing their formal everything. Ioth appears in a flash of brilliant golden light, wearing his white flowing robes emblazoned with golden sigils. And he very plainly, just looking out over the area, says the following. Magic is sacred. It allows us to preserve all that can be preserved of beauty. This past year, outside forces threatened to distract us from our all-important work. To ensure the continued safety and studious atmosphere of the Academy, all excursions this year have been cancelled.
Aww.
There are a number of boos from the older students in the blue, indigo, and violet robes.
What about our commentator?
Alozrin says, well, that's just as well. All the most interesting magic is already here. The outside world isn't that particularly interesting. Do you do that, Athalor?
Yes, including swear.
Roll an intimidation check.
Where did I put my character sheet? There it is. Bam. Boom.
15.
Okay.
It is odd how far Alozrin's neck is capable of going back as he and just stares at you. It's not anger, it's not fear. It might be a little bit of shock, just a little bit, but mostly just.
Athalor would maintain eye contact for like 5 seconds, or at least until Ioth starts talking again before turning around quite pointedly.
All right. I understand many of you are eager to apply what you have learned to the wider world, but take that energy and focus it inward. There are worlds within waiting to be discovered, or perhaps created. Whoosh, she's gone.
Now you can talk again.
I laugh and kind of give Athalor a little golf clap.
Arianna is just trying her best not to like burst out laughing.
All right. The lot of you, they go section by section. They take out the new batch of red-robed first years first, and then, you're halfway up. So every year this takes longer and longer. But as you are brought out back into the Great Hall, back into the same dorms that you've been occupying, and this year things are going to be a little bit different, because at the end of this year, you'll be taking your 4th year exams. This will be your last year in the Great Hall. Students in their 5th, 6th, and 7th years will dwell within the ring. And they point up, and there's a structure. It's actually a sequence of concentric rings, all floating within each other, with everything built along the inside like Halo, nested one within the other. There are 4 of them.
So is there like a lot of artificial gravity going on there?
Oh yeah, lots and lots and lots.
Mm-hmm.
And they all orbit a metal golden sphere that's floating in a locked orbit around the central spire. The ring is much closer to the 4 places that you are right now are kind of floating near the outer edges of the sphere. The ring is much closer to the inner spire and the spire where the teachers and Ioth himself keep their offices. The 4th year exam is going to be more rigorous than what you're used to. At the end of each year, you've had to come up with a creative project or perform a report. And the 4th year exam is going to be a comprehensive test of your understanding of magic. The results of that exam are going to determine what classes and apprenticeships you will have when you move to the ring, to ensure that your understanding of magic continues to progress at a level appropriate to your learning and your needs. So I encourage all of you to take this very seriously, to study hard. We'll be doing practice exams throughout the year. Also, as some of you may have been looking forward to, the Green Gala will be held halfway through the year. More information about that will be announced as we get closer, but what I will say at this point is that you are welcome to wear formal attire appropriate to your culture or your choices. You will not be attending the Green Gala in your school-apportioned robes. However,
does the attire have to be green?
Thank you. Actually, we were just getting to that. It must be largely green. Green should be the focus or the centerpiece color of the garb. Complementary colors, accessories, so on and so forth are also allowed.
Thank you.
Yes. Again, other details will be announced as we get closer. And other than that, here are your syllabi. Go ahead and start selecting your classes for the next year, and good luck. So we have another batch of electives to select, but already at this point, there's a hubbub of people whispering and talking about the dance because screw school, the party's where it's at. It is getting increasingly difficult with every passing year for the teachers to keep everybody focused and on the same page. So let's start out with classes. Everybody will be taking the following classes. These are core: Traditions of Magic, Arcane Self-Defense, Spell Formula, and Metaphysical Education, which is like physical education, but with your brain.
Oh, how?
So throughout the years, you've been doing like meditation and breathing exercises. There was a class called Mental Discipline last year. And one of the things that sets apart a powerful spellcaster from a weaker spellcaster is how much magical energy they can hold within themselves and hold in a spell matrix. Because when you cast a spell, you're pouring magic into the spell and whatever construct you're building it out of, whether it's runes in the air or a mental pattern in your mind. And so, but it takes willpower and focus to channel that energy. So you've been working on your focus and discipline. Metaphysical Education is a class that is going to hardcore drill your ability to contain that magical energy within yourself. So you won't be doing push-ups, you'll be doing really annoying mental exercises.
So Arianna's gonna fail.
I'll go ahead and post these ones in chat because, again, everybody will be taking these. Now, as for Arcane Spell Self-Defense, no, this is not the dueling class.
Aw. Damn it.
Dueling is supposed to be reserved for older students.
Would the faculty know about the Athalor cries situation?
They...
Or occurrence
I think
of the one...
I'm pretty sure that's why your file is so large. I don't know what might tell me that, but just taking a couple ganders. That's probably why.
So if you come to us asking the proper way to challenge somebody or the formal dueling codes, we will not be discussing that in Arcane Self-Defense, but it is important that you be able to use spells to protect yourself from other spells. So, again, Arcane Self-Defense, not dueling. Don't call it that. Anyways, you will also be provided with a list of electives that you can select. Go ahead and choose that now. They are the following. Etiology, the study of origins, which sounds incredibly boring, but it's actually about dawn magic, the oldest form of magic in the world, or the oldest known form of magic. Draconic studies, not so much studying like bits and pieces of dragons, but dragon magic is unique. It's a unique form of magical energy. It's a unique practice. So this is a class dedicated to that.
Sir, those of us without dragon blood, can we use dragon magic?
Yeah, principles of dragon magic are applicable throughout all sorts of arcane theory. And even if you're not going to be casting draconic spells, knowing about them will expand your knowledge of magic. There's always something that can be applied. That being said, it usually fills up pretty quickly with dragon-blooded sorcerers. Santisco's already just like, yep, done. Off in the grove, not here. Advanced elemental studies, which is more about the actual application of elemental energy in spells, focusing and what sort of countermeasures there are against elemental magic. And artifice. Artifice is the art of imbuing magic into physical objects. So, those are the 4 classes that you can select from. I imagine that we rejoin our heroes after a long day, after being gathered together in the hall to be talked to about all these things. You've had time to go back to your bunks, go back to your rooms, with the syllabus in hand, thinking things over.
Would we be moved to a different room in
No.
the Great Hall? Where do all the first years go? Do they just go into new rooms in the Great Hall?
Yeah, basically they've got like rotating rooms where once you move in,
I see.
you stay there, and then so they move into whatever the
Exiting year was in.
Yeah, the exiting fourth years. They vacate it, and then they bring in the new first years.
Makes sense.
Do you guys have any preferences over what they talked about? Etiology seems kind of cool. Although your walking commentary box did seem to have nasty things to say about it.
Yeah, I feel like draconic studies could be really interesting. Alyxander did say all of his friends took it, and that was probably a better choice. But I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of deciding between advanced elemental studies and artifice. Tough.
I'm feeling advanced elemental studies. I've already did elementalism back in our first year, so I suppose
How
I'm
was that?
well suited to that. It was pretty good. It was fairly basic by our standards now, but I think it gave me a good basis from which to work.
It'll probably be draconic studies for myself.
I don't know, guys.
I'm pretty sure you can't do all of them, Garnet.
I can try.
Maybe
have
make
to
it
decide
difficult
now?
to pass the exam.
I mean, you have to decide soon. Before the school year can properly start, you have to decide. You're welcome to do whatever preschool year stuff you want to do, but when you're ready to move the plot along towards, the dance, among other things, before we do that, you must make a decision.
Do you have like a write-up of the descriptions of all the...
I will work on that.
I forgot some of them.
No, that's totally fine. Totally fine.
Small.
Meanwhile, Athalor, as you're looking through the class description, a mental image, not of the models of the talisman that you've created yourself, but of the original prototype that Uncle projected into your mind, resurfaces.
Artifice would be most conducive to pursuit of this endeavor.
Athalor doesn't really visibly respond because he's still fairly like Alex got figured out. You're just in my head for now, and that's where we're gonna stay for the for the moment. So
Uncle
who's gonna
doesn't seem
be
bothered
my,
by that at all.
So who's gonna be my partner for arcane self-defense, huh? Okay. Noted.
True.
Forgot that was a class we were going to be taking, not gonna lie. Yeah, I don't even know how any of that's gonna work.
Oh, I assume you'll set most of us on fire.
You know what? Then maybe I should take elemental magic so I know how to frickin' stop it.
Seems like a good idea. You can learn to control a fire and just whoop, put it out.
But the other thing that I thought would be interesting is that, I got this really cool ring for my parents that allows me to shoot out fireballs. What if I could do something like that if I took artifice? I feel like they might teach me something about how to do that, right?
Well, are you planning on enchanting any further jewelry you're making? I mean, it would combine well. You could sell those, but I don't know if you see that as your future. You're going to be a magical jewelry seller?
Oh, it's more of a hobby.
As soon as you try to make a profit off of your hobby, it kind of takes the joy out of it. Not everything's got to be a hustle.
Mood. Yeah, I don't know. I guess, that's why the choice
you
is
give
so
the best
hard.
gifts.
Well, thank you. I'd I just don't want to deal with that exam at the end of the year.
Well, we all
Oh.
have to, so might as well prepare yourself the best for it that you can.
Well, let's ask this then. How do you test best? Are you like a writing person like Garnet who generate an essay or 7 for the subject? I imagine that Artifice likely ends with a more practical exam.
Yeah.
So the thing about the exam, thus far, you've only had big capstone projects in your electives. The exam is comprehensive. It's a test of everything you've learned about magic so far.
However, the electives still will have parts in the exam, right?
Yes, they will.
Yeah. Think I'm gonna go with advanced elemental studies. Yep. That sounds topical and appropriate.
I suppose that we're all kind of finding our way here. Garnet, any idea?
I forgot what the classes are about. I'm
She just
focusing
wants
on
to
what
take
I'm
'em all.
wearing. I'm more worried about how I'm gonna look in a green dress. The skin, does green?
Well,
I
it could be
just-
green accented, right?
And then who is everyone getting dates? We gotta find someone to go with.
I don't know.
Well, you already know who's asking you, Garnet.
That's true.
Cryus.
I
Cryus.
I was thinking Alex's
Cryus.
friend, but
Oh yeah.
do you think you
Yeah,
could
let me
take
just
a nether
bring an
horror to the
infernal
dance?
to the dance. Yeah, that sounds real smart. Kraz would piss his pants on the spot.
I fail to see
And
the downside.
this is a bad thing. Why?
Arianna, a little favor or a trade. I can help you study. If you could maybe, and I hand her maybe 4 pieces of obsidian I've had since episode 1. Could you make something cute with this? I'm not good with rocks.
Yeah, of course.
Cool. Go
I'd be
crazy.
happy to.
Surprise me.
Okay. I got this.
I would
Ariana
like.
now thinking a lot more about the side projects she wants to work on throughout the year than actually getting through the rest of her classes.
I 100% sympathize. All right. Is anybody paying attention to their surroundings?
Alex definitely is.
Okay. Roll perception for me, please, Alexander.
A passive perception thing, maybe.
Fortunately not. Perception 13?
13. Garnet, is your passive perception higher than a 13?
Yes.
Oh.
Oh.
Anyone else in the party have a passive perception 13 or higher?
Now 10.
11.
Okay.
So
So
no.
the two of you over here, Cryus and his friends, aside from talking about classes, one of them says, well, you don't have to ask someone from the Great Hall. It's a cross-lodge dance. The entire student body is eligible in the 4th year. Yeah, how much time have you spent with anybody from a different lodge? Get real.
I have a social life.
Yes, Simps, carry me to the dance. I shall design a
Elevate
throne of
me.
blood and iron. And upon that you shall hoist me to the dance floor. And I shall groove to the tunes of ABBA. Tonight I
ABBA,
truly become the dancing queen.
the most forbidden of all infernals.
Dancing queen.
All right,
Oh.
so Alexander has signed up for Draconic Studies. Arianna signs up for Advanced Elemental Studies. Athalor, did you sign up for anything yet?
Artifice. I am now the guild enchanter. Well, if I'm
Alright.
not shit at it.
And Garnet is looking through books of illuminated manuscripts that feature ball gowns and various dances from history, trying to figure out what it is that she wants to dress as.
This
social suicide if you don't come with a date and you ain't looking just incredible. This is the one time of year. Athalor, are you listening? Stop picking your
Yes.
classes. What are you wearing?
Well, I'd probably ask my parents, to be honest. They design some wonderful garments.
Wait, what? What kind? What's the brand? The designer?
Is Alpha a brand?
No. So, not that I know of. If I don't know it, then we're doomed here.
Alpha dresses are really pretty though.
Not if they're the generic brand. There's
Alfar
I know?
don't do generic. The Alfar, and they dwell in their hidden refuges, and every single refuge has its own aesthetic. And everything they do is handcrafted.
Like, Athalor could give an example. He'd like go over to his bed trunk thing and he'd pull out a robe, and it's kind of patterned as if it was detailing the cosmos with luminosity. To those who are unobservant, it just looks like regular cosmos stuff, but to him it is an imprint of sort of like Vijaya, which is the sort of realm in which his Alpha refuge exists. But it's a pretty stunning piece.
Wow. Anyway, so it goes back to reading musical. I'll think about it.
I can't help but notice that Athalor did not offer, but Garnet does the same.
Well, when you're raised as royalty. Cryus,
Artifice? Oh, sorry.
Cryus takes a glance over at the door to your guys' room, almost peeks his head in, sees Athalor making the Chad face, and just keeps moving. What were you asking, Garnet?
Artifice, like, would we know if we're is there going to be a project around actually imbuing something with magic? Or
Yes.
is this just learning?
No, you will create a magic item.
Done.
All right, cool. Now, I will warn you that most people's first magic items are things like a spoon that flavors any soup it's placed into, or a torch that doesn't burn. You know, it has light, but it doesn't burn. Not that Garnet's has to be something like that, but that's sort of most people do Babby's first magic item.
Aw.
She's going to do a knife, but when it stabs you, it sucks your soul out.
Ah.
I mean, do you want to research that? Because that'd be Arcana and Nature, I think.
Another soul for my collection.
Okay, so this is an interesting year. Not only do you have the gala to look forward to, what are you going to wear? And there are some other traditions and hoops to jump through that you'll be finding out as the event gets closer. But I think this is the first year that that people have taken the same elective. Like the last couple of years, people have taken completely different electives.
Mm-hmm.
So
can I change mine?
Yeah, no, it's not too
I
late.
don't want to make no stupid spoon. I was trying to make
Fine,
some OP
more
stuff.
spoons for me.
Stop looking through like, oh, this one, spoon flavor. No.
I'll be over here
I won't
with
do
my
it.
soup. Enjoy your bowl of water.
This tastes great.
No, it is definitely not too late. Now, I will also say that this is sort of the thing where you take this class so you can learn how to make something lame and magical, because now you've got the fundamentals to make something cool and magical. But again, it's not too late. We haven't set foot into the classroom. As that time gets closer, does Garnet have second thoughts?
Yeah, study of dawn magic all the way.
Okay.
Lock it in.
All right. It is locked in. Classes. Everyone heads off to their classes. And even though the dance is months away, people are already talking about it. They are talking about it in classes. Alexander, the only people that you know in your class are people who have sort of come and gone over the years that you've grown up with. It's like 200 people less around here. So familiar faces, but neither Renobi nor Cryus nor any of the of your immediate friends are in Draconic studies with you.
Is it shared?
Hmm?
Or is it only Great Hall residents?
Oh, this is Great Hall specific. But when you move to the ring, the 4 lodges are combined. Now, they are kind of distributed again in a different way, but the ring, you're going to have much larger classes. The 4 lodges are designed to keep things fairly small for young learners. But when you move up to the next level, it's a combination of like large lectures and individual apprenticeship. All right, so you're alone in that one. And one of the first things that they do, Crone, do you already speak the Draconic language?
Yes.
Okay, great. That's definitely going to be important. There are a lot of lessons about the Draconic language in this class. So kind of like with the runes class, you start out a little bit ahead of the curve. But they quickly start talking about where dragons come from, why their magic is different. And I'm not going to get into that in full detail at this exact moment, because this early in the year, it is okay. Dragons are inherently magical. They are sources of magic. They're not merely channelers of magic. The first dragons came from the world before Anacra. They were not part of the Dawn originally. And they were unleashed on the Infernals when they were threatening to consume the Dawn in its entirety. They were sealed up once again, but seeing how effective they were, the sovereigns created new dragons in the image of the old. And these dragons that are denizens of Anacra are inherently connected to magic, especially elemental magic, but just the fact that they're in the image of the dragons of old makes them an echo of that strange magic of the world before, which is why Draconic magic is unique. That's sort of week 1 and 2. And also, here's the Draconic alphabet. Repeat this.
I imagine this would help Alex because while he knew Draconic, he wasn't super fluent, I guess, just kind of picking it up from childhood and stuff. So this might fill in some of those gaps for him as well.
Absolutely. And there's going to be elements of the cultures of Ocarthal that he's going to pick up as well, of the 10 tribes of Ocarthal. Not that this is a Draconic culture class, but it's impossible to talk about Draconic magic, without also talking about the traditions of the 10 tribes of Ocarthal, because they inform each other so heavily. So this is going to go a long way towards helping him blend in addition to advancing his understanding of magic.
Cool.
All right. Arianna, you are in the same class and one desk over from Renobi.
Ooh, besties.
Hey!
Cool.
It's me!
Hey, girl, hey.
Bestie, so true.
Now, let me be very clear about something. Arianna is just a little suspicious of her. She has no ill will. She doesn't hate her. She just doesn't know a lot about her yet. So we'll figure it out.
Renobi seems kind of used to that. Doesn't seem to take it personally if she picks up that vibe, keeps her head down, keeps focused on her studies for the most part. Is a little bit friendly, not won't ask you to pass the ink pot or whatever is needed, but very focused, very disciplined. And even though the two of you have lived together for 2 years, this will be your 3rd year because you spent an entire year at the Grove, the two of you have never really hung out much or talked much. I mean, Renobi's sort of always been orbiting or in passing of your group, has never really gone on any adventures with you folks. So just somebody who sort of lives there.
Would I have picked up anything about her social preferences? Would I have noticed at all who she likes to hang out with?
Mm-hmm.
Is she typically a loner?
You're a very empathic sort of person. People can't help but like you. Roll for me an insight check, please. A 19. That's really good. Okay, over the years, you've sort of gotten a feel for Renobi. Aside from the fact that she's a dancer. And she's a dancer not in the I love to party sort, but in the I perform dance as art. The modern day equivalent would be like ballet, which isn't an art form that exists in this world, but it would be equivalent, right? It's lots of muscle control, lots of precise, graceful but precise, very intense, very demanding art form. I think that she met Athalor through dance a couple years ago.
Yeah, Athalor was using dance as his focus thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got them performance electives.
So she has a small circle of friends. She's a tiefling. She's got horns and a tail. And it's not that gives her a huge amount of suspicion or prejudice against her. She seems to be just sort of guarded regardless. That being said, one thing that you've picked up about her is that whenever somebody gets just absolutely burned, somebody delivers a sick diss, she always giggles. And if it's really funny and it's directed at her, she still at the very least smirks. She has a deep appreciation for creative insults.
So we might just get along. Well, let's find out.
Yeah, this may be your chance to get to know her.
Cool.
All right. And as you go through your courses, this one's a little bit demanding, the Advanced Elemental Studies, because there are some formulas that govern how much fire does it take to counteract water. How can you modify your fire spells to make them more focused to pierce through fire resistance? You are very good at this when it has to do with fire. When it has to do with anything else, it's a little bit more challenging, just because the schoolwork is, it's a lot of math, and that's been. But whenever it's fire, you just kind of inherently get it. So your performance, I would say, is going to start out inherently lumpy. We'll see how hard work, creativity, mentorship, etc., can affect that as we move along.
Makes sense.
Athalor, you ended up being the only person from main characters in Artifice. And I might have a specific teacher about this who I will pull up in a bit. But for the most part, one of the fundamental precepts of Artifice is that when you cast a spell, first you open the path to power, whatever that may be. Then you gather magical energy until you've got enough to do with it what you want. Then you shape it into the spell in a spell matrix of some sort. And there's different people do different things. You, for the most part, your spell matrices tend to be mental constructs. The spell takes shape in your mind. So the more complex your thoughts and patterns you're able to hold in your mind, the more powerful spells you can cast. And then you release or deliver the spell. Well, the principles of Artifice are very much the same. The difference is that instead of constructing a spell matrix through gestures or runes or temporary ethereal patterns, we are building an object that is going to contain that matrix in a permanent long-term status. The materials that we choose, the way that we built, the methods that we choose, and the shape that object takes all need to be considered when you're trying to make it hold the magic. If you just slap a spell onto an item, it's not going to last because that item is not designed to hold that spell. It's just this external spell matrix you're layering on top of it. To create a magical item, you need to consider the entire crafting process to be spell casting in slow motion. And the design that you have to take is completely different because this isn't something that you're conjuring up to a release in a puff of smoke. This is something that has to stand the test of time. It has to hold these coursing energies within itself, perhaps forever. If you're going to create something that's going to be remembered long after you're gone, then it needs to be done with incredible precision and forethought. and a little bit of just poetic art to it. Everyone grab some clay. We're going to start with ashtrays.
Who's going to make a birdhouse?
Exactly. But like I said, you're the only main character in that class.
Pog, NPCs that Athalor can just be slightly more known with.
Exactly. Time to farm clout. Now, Garnet. Who do you think picked etiology?
Cryas!
Oh,
Yay!
yeah. Oh, yeah. He's 100% in there. And he's taking an effort to spend a little bit more time at your desk. He kind of looks left and right to see if that gangly elf is nearby. He doesn't say that, but he always checks left and right before heading over just to see how you're doing, what you think of the class, asking questions and just being social and completely avoiding the topic of the Green Gala for now. But dawn magic, in the beginning, matter, energy, and thought were all one and the same. There was no division between the imagination and the willpower and physical reality. That was the world of the dawn. That is the world of Ioth, from which he and his closest companions still survived. That is the world of the shining citadel of Luminius, the greatest civilization, something we can't really imagine because it was built from impossible things. During the dawn, shape was not permanent. There was no need for complex spells because all you had to do was will a thing to come about, and reality would shape itself around you to make it so. Today, because of the ravages of the Infernals, the sovereigns were forced to divide the world into the 4 kingdoms, to bind it with the laws of the Emerald Tablets that separate matter from energy and from willpower. But there is still a little bit of dawn magic out there, hidden in places across the 4 kingdoms, in little in-between pockets. And if you can obtain some of it, what you can do with dawn magic is almost limitless. Limited only by how much magic you have in your hands, your imagination, and your willpower. The Alfar are known for building their refuges in places with concentrations of dawn magic. One of the greatest concentrations of dawn magic of all is right here in Ioth Academy. We will not be playing with this stuff on day 1.
So there's a chance.
So there's a chance. Yes. It's like having a chemistry lab where every single kid has been assigned like exactly 1 gram of sulfur for the final at the very end. You know what I mean?
A single strip of magnesium.
Exactly. And if you waste it, it's not in the budget to get another one. Sorry. All right.
I see those safety goggles off, you're expelled.
Roll an insight check, Garnet.
Do.
20. Cryas is totally hovering. He's 100% hovering. And his friends are trying to encourage him to ask you to the Green Gala. And at the moment, this is all happening out of earshot, eavesdropping, shadow imp, right? And he's telling them that it would be inappropriate to ask this early. It's still too far away. There are procedures. There's an etiquette to this. And if I ask her now, it would be bad form. Well, what if somebody else snipes her first? What if that tall elf asks her first? Oh, that barbarian. No, I don't think so. But somebody's going to ask her. If you don't go for it, there's a time and a place. And if I don't do this properly, then why do it at all? You also get the impression that he's totally chicken.
Oh, that's so cute. I'm pretty sure every single teenager is going to be absolutely petrified of asking. I'm probably like a little bit gossiping with. I'm assuming I've probably made a friend in class, or maybe over the next like week or so, like
Yeah.
having a kind of friend to gossip with, and probably asking her like what she's gonna wear, and like, oh, like who should I take, and kind of get her advice on, the who is the most eligible bachelor that I should take. Like who's the hottest guy in school that I can take, that's like, who can I pull, like
Power rankings, dude.
Well,
what are the power rankings of dudes at the school?
Oh my god.
I mean, aren't you asking that elf boy? We all kind of assumed you were going to ask that elf boy you always walk around with. I mean, have you seen his hair? My gods.
Wait, are they talking about Athalor?
You are eventually led to believe that, yes.
Wait, you guys have Athalor in the high power rankings?
Oh, he's so dreamy.
No older kids?
Well, I mean, you can only ask a fourth year. And besides, the Alphar, they're like super old. I hear one Alphar year is like 1.3 human years.
Acts like a child. Like under my breath. I'm like, okay.
But
thanks for the advice.
the tradition is whenever you ask somebody, you have to bring them something with it. And it's got to be green, whatever it is. And if you just go pluck like a twig from outside, they're going to laugh you out of town.
Yeah.
Oh no. There
I
goes
bought you a
Arianna's
blade of
plan.
grass, milady.
Grass, milady.
Malefi.
God
Probably
damn it.
won't
All
end.
right, you know what? Malefi seems like the perfect place for us to take a break.
Malefi.
All right, folks. We'll be back in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.